देश भर में चल रहे लॉकडाउन में एक बड़ी समस्या ये भी है कि गर्भवती महिलाएं और नवजात शिशु के स्वास्थ्य में कैसे ध्यान दिया जाए, क्योंकि इस वक्त अधिकांश अस्पतालों के ओपीडी कोविड-19 के मरीजों का इलाज करने में जुटे हुए हैं। साथ ही ट्रैवल रिस्ट्रिक्शंस के चलते भी कई गर्भवती महिलाएं अपने नियमित चेकअप के लिए नहीं जा पा रही हैं। ऐसे में महिलाओं की मदद के लिए सामने आया है अरमान एनजीओ, जिसने देश भर में गर्भवती महिलाओं की मदद के लिए उनकी समस्याओं को सुलझाने के लिए शुरुआत की है वर्चुअल ओपीडी की। इस बारे में हमने बात की एनजीओ की फाउंडर डॉक्टर अपर्णा हेगड़े से। Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. So, first of all, I would like to ask, what were the conditions that you were looking at when you started the service that made you start the service of virtual OPD?
So, I'm the founder of an NGO called ARMMAN, and I'm also a Urogynaecologist. So, ARMMAN leverages technology to create scalable solutions to impact maternal and child health. As part of the service, we have a free voice call service called Mitra and another one with the government called Kilkari, where we send free voice calls weekly to pregnant women and mothers with children till the child is 1 year of age to inform them about the care to be taken in that week, how to prepare for something important in the future, and also reinforce very important information from the past. And the service has enrolled, more than 18 million women through the country. And what we realized when the COVID crisis erupted was that the pregnant women mothers had access to our calls, but everything else has stopped, literally. So hospitals stopped providing regular care. There was only emergency care that was available. We were getting distress calls from the women we had enrolled into Mitra saying that they're in third trimester of pregnancy, they're due very soon, they are having certain problems, and they have nowhere to approach. So they were calling up our hospital supervisors who enroll women into Mitra. And so we realized very quickly that it's extremely important at this time not to just inform women about the care they can take, but also offer them access to doctors, gynecologists, and pediatricians whom they can call when in distress and understand what to do. So that's why the idea of virtual OPD came into play, because women don't have access to care.
Okay. So, ma'am, how many obstetricians and pediatricians are you working with right now? And Arman is also training some healthcare workers. How is it going during the lockdown?
Yes, so the first part of the question, how many doctors are involved? More than 60 doctors, obstetricians and pediatricians have volunteered to work free, for the service. We have a roster of doctors, more than 12 to 15 doctors per day who provide care and they're committed to their time. And with regards to our health worker training program, so this is a mobile academy program. So we have two health worker training programs. The first one is Mobile Academy. Mobile Academy is a program in collaboration with the Government of India, where we train ASHA workers through mHealth. Basically, it's a phone-based refresher training program, and that is not connected to the crisis in terms of the fact that the ASHA workers can still be reached through their mobile phone. So, it's not face-to-face training. Having said that, right now the ASHA workers are very busy in the COVID crisis. Yeah. So, they have to opt into the service. And so many of them may want to kind of opt in after the COVID crisis is over. And we also have another program where in parts of the country where nothing exists, the public health infrastructure is very sparse and it's very difficult to reach the hospitals. We have converted village women into health entrepreneurs. And these village women tend to be ASHA workers. So in Palghar, we have a whole program where we have converted ASHA workers into health entrepreneurs who go home to home to provide home-based antenatal infancy care. And that program is ongoing even during the COVID crisis because the ASHA workers are the ones who go home to home to provide care. Okay. So it's actually, combined with anyways, the ASHA workers have to go to the villages to talk about COVID, and they combine our work along with the COVID counseling sessions.
Okay. So, ma'am, this virtual OPD service started from 18th April, right? So, how many calls are you receiving per day, and are there any SOS calls? If there are there. So, how do you handle them?
Yes. So basically, in fact, the call center started, the virtual OPD started 2 weeks before 18 April for our Mitra subscribers in Mumbai. So we're already doing a beta version where our hospital supervisors are connecting the women we serve anyways from Mitra with the doctors on the system. And because it went very well, on 18th of April, we kind of expanded it pan-India. And we're getting more than 20 calls per day, and we are hoping that as the word spreads, and like journalists like yourself spread the word about the fact that this virtual OPD exists, we'll get more and more calls. We can go 1,000 calls a day. That's what more than 1,000 calls a day. That's where our capacity is. And we're getting multiple, queries at the times of emergency. Of course, we can't offer care online on the phone, but what we can do is to actually prompt the person to go to the hospital immediately and offer all advice about what can be done before she reaches the hospital. I will give an example of a patient who called from Aurangabad, right? So she was in the 9th month and she was having discharge. And obviously, the discharge was worrying her because she was worried that she was going to labor or there was rupture of membranes causing leaking of amniotic fluid. And the doctor on the call that day immediately assessed that she was actually leaking amniotic fluid and told her to go immediately to the hospital. And when she reached the hospital, it was just right in nick of time because she underwent a C-section. And the doctor had told her that if she hadn't reached in time, the baby would have not survived. So it's very important. What happens is that if you're sitting at home somewhere, you have no access to a doctor, you have no access to public transport to reach a hospital, and you face an emergency. You do not even know what to do. You need someone to tell you what to do, right? And you go and take care. So when she called in, and the doctor there emphasized the need for immediate care, the need for reaching the hospital immediately. And then the hospital supervisor of our NGO arranged for 108 ambulance, and immediately the patient reached the hospital, right? So that kind of support is required. Even if you can't offer, face-to-face consultation, at least on a virtual OPD, you can offer that reassurance that yes, this is an emergency you need to reach. Right? Another patient called in with diabetes during pregnancy, and obviously the diabetes was not very well controlled. So the doctor insisted that she undergo testing of her blood sugar, and ensure that the sugar is not only tested, but also that her dose of medication is modified. Obviously, for that she has to go to a hospital, but then there's somebody telling her to do that.
So, ma'am, we are having reports from different parts of the country, like Karnataka, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, that women are not able to access medications, the particular medicines that they require, they are not getting in their proximity. So, are you also planning to join in with other NGOs who can work on ground and maybe give the medicines and deliver it door to door?
See, the thing is this: is that of course, there's a supply chain issue that's happening in this current lockdown period. But hopefully, from May 3rd or very soon, that supply chain issues will be solved, right? And also, the fact is that if they reach a hospital, their primary health center, they will get medication. In fact, it will be very difficult for any NGO to provide medication beyond iron supplementation or calcium supplementation. All other medication which needs to be taken from on a doctor's prescription and from the hospital or pharmacy. It's important that the woman does that. But hopefully that the situation will resolve in a short while. This shortly.
Okay. Ma'am, also one major concern is the health of women and children, because the infant mortality rate and maternal mortality rate are expected to go up during this lockdown. So, to take care of the women and the children, the vaccines that they are supposed to get, are they necessary, or can they be delayed during this period of fears of COVID-19?
So, in pregnancy, you take tetanus vaccination. Tetanus, not vaccination, tetanus injection. Tetanus injection, you can delay a little bit. If the tetanus injection taken a month later, it's not a problem. You have to take a tetanus injection or two if you've not taken any before. But it's okay if there's a little bit of delay in the tetanus injection before you deliver. As compared to a child of course has scheduled ongoing immunization, and of course the immunization schedule has to be followed according to a certain schedule. But the Anganwadis are working, right? So the women can still go to the Anganwadis. That's where the vaccination is given, right? So hopefully, and because the lockdown only has been for a month, right? So from May 3rd, things are going to open up even more. But I do think and hope that childhood vaccination has not got delayed, though there is not much evidence to suggest that it has got delayed. There's no reports coming out saying that vaccination schedules are not being followed.
Okay. Ma'am, so at last, would you like to tell our viewers who are going through, the women, those who are going through their pregnancy period, they have a lot of stress during this lockdown. What should they do? What is your advice to them?
My advice to them is to understand that the one thing to do in response to stress is to move on to solutions. The minute you have solutions in your mind stops thinking about the stress. Starts thinking about the solution. So the thing to do in pregnancy is ensure you have your nutrition that is really figured out. Eat well, sleep well. Ensure that you take your iron supplementation, calcium supplementation. You have our virtual OPD. If you have any stress or any queries, you can just pick up the phone and call our doctors, highly qualified obstetricians who will answer your questions. If you may not have access to your doctors face to face, but our virtual OPD is really manned by good doctors who are kind enough to volunteer their time. So please call in and ask all your queries, and because unsolved queries leads to stress and anxiety, right? So please call in and solve all your queries. And I'd like to give you the number of the call center. The toll-free number is 1-800-212-1425.
Okay.
Again, it's 1-800-212-1425. The antenatal OPD runs from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the pediatric OPD runs from 3 p.m. to 7.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for talking with Go News.
Thank you so much.